What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking out for the future of this company. I'm also going to break down what I think is going to play out for tomorrow, as NIO is looking a little bit more bearish now. However, we have some big things coming out from the Fed that did cause the market to drop, but things are going to be a little bit better for next week because we do have a blackout period starting. So I'm going to explain this as well and talk about why this is not the end for NIO. NIO may take hits here and there. It's just like when Tesla was much smaller back in the day when it was heavily shorted. We know that the shorts did attack it, but Tesla did bounce back, and I do believe NIO is going to bounce back. I'm also going to talk about what they put on their Twitter page that still makes me very bullish for the long term. Now, before I break any of this down, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, but the entire NIO community as a whole. The last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit any amount of money with my link down below, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. Once again, that's free money. And if you do sign up right now, you could always sell those 5 free stocks for cash. Whether you get $100 or $200 worth of stocks, you could always sell them and buy some NIO shares for free or any of your other favorite stocks. This is a limited time offer that ends in 2 weeks, so please check it out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, we did take a bit of a hit today, down 5.51%, and the whole market ended up taking a massive hit. I mean, if we actually go back to this right here, look at what happened to Tesla. They had a killer earnings report. Tesla jumped all the way up to almost 1,100 and went as high as 1,090. Then it ended up dumping after that, which is pretty insane. I mean, no one expected the market to drop this hard based off what the Fed was doing, but that is what ended up happening. And that did cause the entire market left and right to take a big hit, including NIO. So NIO did take a massive hit. I want to actually talk about this in more details because right now we have the FOMC meeting coming out on the 3rd and 4th of May, right? But the bigger date is the 4th because they released their minutes. And as a result, we're seeing pieces of news coming out like this because Jerome Powell has recently been talking about the fact that he is in more of a support towards aggressive rate hikes, so to speak. He is a lot more fixated on that 50 basis point rate hike, and that is essentially going to cause the market to possibly slow down by a long shot, and that's his way of addressing inflation. He said it's very important. He also did flip-flop a bit, as he did talk about the fact that taming inflation is absolutely essential and that the economy is not bad, right? He stated the economy is still in a pretty good state, but he is talking about the fact that now he's in a position where he has to do this. And some people worry that this may cause a potential recession, right? And if a recession were to start, the stock market may take a bit of a hit. It doesn't have to be like the biggest 1929 market crash or anything like that. It could take a bit of a correction in in response to the news and also before the recession starts. So many investors are very shaky right now. They're very uncertain, which is why the market is taking this big hit. Now, for next week, I want to remind you guys, we have the blackout period. I know many people don't know what that is. That just means that the Federal Reserve staff, including those at the Chicago Fed, generally do not speak publicly between a week prior to the Saturday preceding a federal or FOMC meeting and the Thursday following that week. So what this means is that between April 23rd and April 5th, they have this blackout period. But remember, on May 4th, they're going to release the minutes of their FOMC meeting. So kind of disregard that part. But until, I would say, from April 23rd until May 2nd, I think things aren't going to be as bad. There may be some anticipation of bad news for the FOMC meeting, so maybe around May we could see a bit of a drop. But the week before it, right, the Fed is going to be essentially quiet. They're not going to be opening their mouths as much, so the market is not going to be as bad next week. So I do expect a bit of a bounce going into next week. But right now, how are things looking for NIO? And this is the part where it does not get really good, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. NIO was holding above, and I showed you guys this in a previous video, this $17.79 range. This is where our strong support was, and that is what was essentially stopping us from kind of getting close to that gap fill, right? The old gap fill that would bring us all the way down to $15. Like, it's right here. I'm going to actually show you it. Right here, there's this gap, right? A lot of people have been talking about it. This bottom line is where the gap would essentially start, and that would take us to as low as $14.96. So it is possible that NIO could end up filling it, but right now I'm not quite sure we're actually going to fill it just yet. But I do think it's possible we can actually come very close to that range, because right here I found support in this bounce area right here where this other gap is. So it's possible that NIO does drop to the high $15 level very soon. It could even happen tomorrow. So I just want to prepare each and every one of you for that. It could happen maybe next week. And what I'm trying to say is that, look, if we do end up dropping, we're most likely going to get a nice bounce next week. I think NIO is going to get a nice bounce. I'm not sure if the bounce is going to come at 1575 or 1496. It is possible for us to fill this gap, like I said before. I just want to prepare you guys. But once we bounce up, when the Fed is a lot more silent, the market should start to actually kind of come up a little bit here and there, and NIO should be back in that $18 range. And then after that, I think that once the FOMC meeting is out of the way, once we know there's a 50 basis points rate hike, the market likes certainty. And this certainty, in my opinion, is going to cause the market to maybe trade a little bit sideways and maybe have some upward momentum. And that is when I expect in the next upcoming weeks for NIO to push right back up and fill the gaps in that $20 level, the high $20 level. It's something to just be looking out for. Now, I also want to talk about this right here. NIO is reminding us that NIO is not only an electric automobile, but an experience and a lifestyle. Blue skies are coming. So they're just putting it out there that, yeah, a lot of investors, they're very concerned right now. It's very sad for them to see this happening. I know it's heartbreaking, okay? And the thing about that is that people that invested in Tesla, they went through the exact same thing. They saw these companies take massive hits, but they didn't lose faith. Because if you go back on Tesla, if you look at the daily candles, okay, and if we actually go back here, Tesla was a $35 company at one point. Hold on, let me wait for this to load. Tesla was trading in the $30 range for a very long time. People were seeing this thing bounce back and forth. It would be a $5 company if you account for the stock split, and it was just going back and forth and back and forth. There were times where this thing just crashed from $70 all the way down to $35 a share in like 2019. My point is, Tesla went through very similar price action. It was crashing for a very long time. Okay? But Tesla didn't die when it dropped all the way down to $30. It didn't die because Elon Musk believed in his company. Investors also believed in it. They did not give up. They kept pushing forward, and eventually they saw that very, very, very amazing growth that we saw. The squeeze ended up playing out, and I see NIO as a squeeze play as well. I think NIO has that squeeze potential. We've seen this thing run to $66, and I believe one day again it is going to have a massive run. We may not be there yet. It may take many weeks. It may take many months. It may take a year. But at the end of the day, if you are a faithful investor, if you do not lose faith and you are not emotional, the logic is there. The fact that these shorts eventually have to start covering these positions, the fact that NIO has been oversold for so long, the fact that they keep on attacking this company that's getting better fundamentally, we know the potential it has, and we know when the time comes, it's going to run. But you have to be patient and you have to trade accordingly based off what you're seeing. So with that said, I haven't lost faith. It is possible for us to go as low as $15.75. We could go as low as that 14.96 range, but I expect a bounce after that. I expect this company to maybe trade a little bit sideways, but slowly get its way right back up. And I do expect for the long term, this company is going to see a very, very beautiful reversal. This company is going to be back in the 40s. You just have to be patient. You have to give it time and never, ever quit. People thought Tesla was such a bad company. They shorted it so hard, thinking it would go bankrupt. That did not happen. And I believe NIO is next in line. They're not going bankrupt. They're not quitting. And I believe in them until the end. So that's what I have for this video. I want to thank you all for listening. We're seeing the fundamentals so good as they're expanding to different countries and innovating the world with AI technology and battery swapping technology. They're an incredible company. So don't lose faith because of moves like this. It's not the end of the world. And also learn to be an intelligent investor that is not fazed by emotions, right? That's essentially what I have for this video. I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of the day. NIO to the moon, and peace out.